This is the spot. It's just right. Oh, hello everyone. It's me, Goldilocks, and I'm off on another adventure. But this time, quite a different one than the one you've all heard. I'm sure you know the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Everyone knows the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. But do you know the story of what happened right before it? Well, I'll tell you. Goldilocks had woken up much earlier than she'd wanted to. The birds were singing, the early morning sun was bright, and all Goldilocks wanted to do was go back to sleep. She tossed and turned, plumped her pillow, and even pulled the covers over her head. But no matter what she did, she was still wide awake. "Oh, fiddlesticks," said Goldilocks, giving up. It looked like she was awake, like it or not. So instead, she got dressed and went down for breakfast. Everyone else in her house was still fast asleep, so she tiptoed through the kitchen, trying to be as quiet as possible. First, she got out the bacon, sausages, eggs, beans, and mushrooms, all the things she'd need to make a big fried breakfast. But she'd never made a fried breakfast before. Making this breakfast was going to be too hard, so she decided to try something else. Next, she thought she could make some toast. Well, surely that would be easier. So she got a slice of bread, popped it in the toaster, and waited. But when it popped up, the bread had barely been toasted at all. It was, she decided, still a slice of bread. This breakfast was too soft, so she decided to try something else. But what? Her mom usually helped her with breakfast, but it was too early, and she was still asleep. Perhaps the best answer would be for her to go for a walk, and then when she got home, her mom was sure to be up, and then she could help her. This idea seemed just right. And so it was that Goldilocks left her house and set off. It was very peaceful in the woods at this time of the morning. There was nobody around, just the sound of the birds and the insects and the smell of the flowers. After walking for a while, another smell began to tickle her nose. It was the smell of grilled cheese. That smells delicious," said Goldilocks, and allowed her nose to lead her to where it was coming from. She arrived at a very small cottage, no higher than her waist, with a thatched roof and white painted walls. The smell was coming from somewhere inside. Bending down, Goldilocks knocked on the door and was surprised to see it opened by a mouse wearing dark glasses. "Who's this?" asked the mouse, sounding unsure. "Oh, hi, Miss Mouse. My name's Goldilocks, and I couldn't help but smell the delicious aroma of grilled cheese coming from your cottage," she said, feeling her belly gurgle. "Oh, would you possibly have some that you could spare for me for my breakfast?" "Why, young lady, most certainly," said the mouse. "My sisters are preparing cheese on English muffins. Oh, we always make too much, so I'm sure there will be some for you too. Would you like to come in?" Goldilocks looked at the cottage with its tiny mouse-sized front door, then down at herself. There was no way she was going to fit inside. I'm sorry," said Goldilocks, "but I can't fit inside your pretty little house." "Oh, forgive me," said the mouse with a laugh. "You see, my sisters and I are blind. I could not tell that you were so large. But not to worry, we'll take our breakfast out here with you. Oh, wait right there." The mouse disappeared back inside and returned moments later with her two sisters. All of them wore dark glasses and in turn carried a pile of plates, a platter of grilled cheese English muffins, and a tray with a teapot and cups. Despite not being able to see, the mice confidently moved about their little front garden, locating a table to set down their things, and serving up a grilled cheese English muffin on a plate for Goldilocks. "Here you are," said the mouse, holding the plate up. "Tuck in." Goldilocks looked down at the very, very tiny plate in the mouse's very, very tiny paw and could barely see the even tinier grilled cheese English muffin that sat there. It was a yellow blob upon a crumb. Oh dear, thought Goldilocks. This breakfast was far too small. On second thoughts, said Goldilocks, feeling embarrassed. I'd feel dreadful if I took your breakfast. Thank you for the kind offer, but I really must be going. Before they had the chance to argue, she had marched off. Has she gone? Asked the second mouse. I think so, said the first mouse, sounding disappointed. Oh, never mind. We'll just have to stuff our faces, said the third mouse. And so they did. Meanwhile, Goldilocks was really feeling hungry now. She wished she'd had just some buttered bread before she left the house, but foolishly, she had had nothing. Perhaps she should head home straight away. The problem was, she wasn't quite sure where she was. She wasn't only hungry, she was lost. She walked on, hoping to spot somewhere she recognized, but instead, she came upon a small house made from straw. I'll try here, she said as her stomach gurgled once more. Before she'd even reached the door, she saw it open, and a pig stepped out, carrying a large basket crammed full of eggs, butter, milk, marmalade, and jams. Goldilocks stared at all the lovely breakfast goodies hungrily. Oh, can I help you? Said the pig cheerfully. Oh, I hope so, said Goldilocks, telling him her name before adding, Do you think you could spare something from your basket for my breakfast, please? Oh, I can do better than that, replied the pig. I'm taking this to my brother's house. Why don't you come too? Goldilocks couldn't believe her ears. Oh, that's very kind of you, she said, and off they went. A little further, through the trees, they came upon a house made from sticks. Is this your brother's house? Asked Goldilocks. One of them, replied the pig, just as the door opened and a pig walked out. He was carrying a cardboard box full of freshly baked bread, croissants, muffins, apples, grapes, oranges, and several tins of baked beans. Good morning, said the new pig to his brother. Who's this then? Oh, this is Goldilocks, and she's joining us for breakfast, said the first pig. Oh, fabulous news, snorted the second pig happily. Oh, I, for one, can't wait. The two pigs led Goldilocks beneath the broad boughs of an oak to another house, this one built from bricks. There was smoke coming from the chimney, and the door was wide open, where a third pig, wearing a black apron, stood to greet them. A guest! Oh, how marvellous! Come on inside, said the third pig. The house was very small, and most of it was taken up by the kitchen and a large kitchen table. Goldilocks was encouraged to sit as the three pigs bustled about, preparing the meal. Other than the items that the two brothers had brought, there were mushrooms, cheeses, beef sausages, coffee, tea, juices, Belgian waffles, pancakes, bagels, French toast, cereals, cinnamon rolls, and she was relieved to see some vegetarian bacon. Oh, I hope you're hungry, said the first pig. Oh, I am, said Goldilocks. Because we divide everything up evenly, said the second pig. Well, that sounds very fair, agreed Goldilocks. And nobody is allowed to get down from the table until it is all gone, added the third pig. Goldilocks gulped. Oh dear, she thought, this breakfast was far too large. On second thoughts, said Goldilocks, feeling embarrassed. I'd feel dreadful from stopping you all having your full breakfast. Thank you for your kind offer, but I really must be going. Before they had the chance to argue, she was out of the chair, through the door, and back into the woods. Has she gone? Asked the second pig. Well, I think so, said the first pig, sounding disappointed. Well, I can't say I'm disappointed, said the third pig. As it is, there's barely enough for us three. Goldilocks could no longer hear the birdsong or the buzzing insects. All she could hear was the gurgle, gurgle, gurgle of her stomach. Oh, how she wished she'd eaten something before she'd left home. And to make matters worse, she was feeling tired from all of the walking, too. She clearly hadn't got enough sleep, waking up as early as she had. But she still didn't know how to get home. She was completely lost. She staggered through the trees, her belly complaining and her eyes searching for somewhere familiar. On the verge of tears, she stumbled into a clearing and saw the prettiest cottage she had ever seen. A wisp of smoke curled up from the chimney, and the smell of freshly made breakfast greeted her nose. Porridge, she said, breathing in the smell deeply. There was a huge look of relief on her face. Oh, this breakfast is just right. Happier, Goldilocks walked up the path to the front door. And well, you know what happened next. The end.
So that you don't miss a single episode, just click that subscribe button.